Hello, you're listening to episode 290 of the Small and Supercharged podcast with Ria Freeman.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. I'm hoping it's going to be a really useful one for you because I hear these kind of thoughts, worries, concerns a lot. I've just done a big project doing a lot of mentoring for an association, which was very cool. Loved it. And obviously I work with people one-to-one and I look at lots of things on different social media platforms. And something that I think a lot of people can agree with at the moment is that it's quite hard out there. It is really hard out there. Whatever business you're in, I think a lot of people are finding it tough. And if you're, based in the outdoors, if you've got an outdoorsy kind of product or service, I think that the weather has a huge amount to do with it. And I think that I know I say about the weather a lot, but it can have such a huge impact on sales directly related to going outdoors and outdoor activities, because if it is peeing it down and blowing a gale, people are basically not going to want to go outside much, and therefore your sales take a hit. And it's these weird little things that kind of happen and appear that can have such a huge impact on what you do. Obviously, there is a cost of living crisis. People are struggling. It is harder for people to do what they want. The prices of everything's going up. I mean, I don't know about you, but my food bill seems to be going up. I noticed there was something that I usually buy for £1, just for like a bag of the cheesy little square things that the kids love. They're now £1.25. And yes, okay, it's 25 pence, but actually as a percentage, that's quite high. And I think that so many people have seen price increases in like the essentials that when we come to look at things that are deemed as luxury in inverted commas, perhaps people aren't spending the same amount on these luxury items or items that support other things that they're passionate about. And that can mean it is really tough to do business. But what I see a lot is that the fact that business is hard, people are spending less, then has a direct impact on business owners that means that they don't promote what they're doing. And the reason that they don't promote is because of all the things I've talked about, because of the weather, because of the cost of living, because essentials are going up, because any number of things. And whilst all these things are true, what you are essentially doing by not promoting what you do is you are ensuring you are going to have a difficult time, because you're not telling people what you sell, what you do, how you can be of service to them. And that is what I wanted to talk about today, because it is essential that you promote what you do. It is essential that you tell people what you do. And I wanted to just work this through a little bit on today's podcast because I think it is really important. Before we get into that, I'm going to give a bit of a shout out to Mastermind because I am going to close enrollment for a little bit. I'm going to move more to a kind of model where you have these, it opens at different times. So if you are on the fence about joining Mastermind, which is my amazing membership group with the most incredible community, we have groups on Facebook, we have a community on WhatsApp. There are marketing trainings, mindset trainings, social media trainings, social media critiques, social media ideas, live coaching sessions, opportunities get posted in there. There's an exclusive podcast with all the trainings. It is incredible. And I am around, as are the rest of the group, in a community format to help you with your business issues through WhatsApp, through Facebook, wherever. I'd love you to consider joining if you want your business to grow and thrive and build on what you know, what you're good at, to find collaborations, to really deep dive into your marketing activity and make it even better. If you head over to riafreemanpr.co.uk, there's Small and Supercharged Mastermind at the top. Do have a look. You have to fill in a form and then I will be in touch with you. But I'm going to actually suspend enrollment in the not too distant future. So if you are on the fence, feel free to head over there or send me an email. I'm just ria@riafreemanpr.co.uk, and I would love to chat you through how I think Mastermind can help you and your business. So back to the subject. A lot of people feel weird about promoting what they do generally. When everything is going well, people feel weird. And I don't know whether this is more of obviously I appreciate this podcast is global, and I would love to know if you're listening, wherever you're listening, do you feel weird about promoting what you do? I think it's something that Brits do feel quite a lot, but I would love to know, where are you listening, and do you feel it too? If you're a Brit, tell me if you feel it. What is it about? But I notice lots of people are really kind of hesitant about promoting themselves, whether they see it as boasting, whether they see it as pushy, whether they see it as pushy salespeople. But there is that always that thing going, well, am I too salesy? Am I too this? Am I too that? That can be a real block when things are going well. However, and actually just go back a step, particularly when you are the person behind your business. So I think if you are being employed by somebody to promote their business, you're almost one step removed, and it's much, much easier to promote it as a third person, because even if it's a business, like you're selling a product, you're not selling a service, it can feel very, very connected to you and like you are selling yourself, not in a perfectly innocent, great way. But it can feel like you're selling yourself, and that can be a bit icky and a bit, it shouldn't be. I'm just telling you what it can feel like, but it absolutely shouldn't be. But if you are kind of that one step removed, if you can look at it more objectively because you're being paid by somebody to do that job, it's much easier because you can see the brilliance of what they do without having that emotional connection to it that makes them think, I shouldn't be promoting this. And of course, the other thing is, if you're really connected to it, if it's your product or service and you promote it and you get crickets, so tumbleweed, nobody responds, nobody cares, nobody buys, what we often do then is go, it's not the product, it's not the service, it's not that it's just not the right time, it's not the other things we've already built in. Many people jump to, it's me, I'm doing something wrong. And whilst that may be the case, I don't know, I haven't looked at your marketing. Chances are, probably not. It could be so many other factors that you're not considering, but you can just go to, it's me, I'm doing something wrong. And the next jump in that train of thought can be, I shouldn't do it as much. I need to do something different. I just shouldn't do it. So we've then got this kind of really vicious cycle that is a challenging time. We put out some content, doesn't do as well as you'd like. You take it to heart. You kind of vow never to do it again, or you vow that you need to really think about it and do something different. Then you overanalyze, perhaps you procrastinate on it, you rip apart any idea you have, you don't promote what you're doing, you don't promote products, services, whatever. Then what happens, usually, is, well, nothing. You don't make the sales, you don't make the inquiries because you're not telling anybody what you do. So then your business gets harder. And what you can then do, and I've seen this happen over and over again, so this might not be you. You might have a different train of thought, but I've seen this happen too often not to be sharing it. So you don't promote it. You really, you kind of work away really, really hard behind the scenes on stuff, but you don't have the confidence to promote it because you've taken the previous post's results as a kind of direct criticism, I guess. So you don't promote it. So you don't make sales. Oh gosh, so you must be an awful, awful business owner, and your business is awful and you should stop it because it's an embarrassment that you're even doing it. And so this horrible cycle continues of the little thing in your head or the devil on your shoulder gently reinforcing why you're rubbish and you should stop. That's not the case. If we can take a step back, what we can see is that it's a challenging time at the moment. Now, for some people, it's a really challenging time. For others, they are completely unaffected by what's going on. And for some people, they're actually doing quite well at the moment. So we use this generalization to actually limit how we're promoting ourselves, what we're doing. it's useful to be very aware of what's going on in the world. It's useful to have an appreciation for the things that people are struggling with. But what I will say to you, and I say to everybody else, is you are not making anybody buy anything. You are not threatening them. You're not saying if they don't buy, something bad will happen, like those blooming awful. Have you seen on social media? If you don't share this to 3 people, your chickens will die. Or, I mean, I don't think anyone's ever suggested that chickens are going to die, but you know what I mean. Right? You're not doing that. You're saying, this is me. I do this thing. This is why it's helpful. If you're interested, let me know. Or this is me. I sell this thing. I think it's great because of these reasons. If you'd like it, let me know. Obviously, you're putting better wording around that and you're making it more interesting. But at a basic level, that's what you're doing. Now, some people will look at that and potentially buy. Other people will look at it and go, oh, that's lovely, but not for me for now. Some people go, oh, that's lovely. I'll put it on my birthday, Christmas, whatever list. And some people go, that's not for me. But if we don't promote it at all, what we're doing is we're ensuring people won't buy because they don't know it exists. And that's what we're doing with marketing. We're letting people know that we or our service or our product or a mixture of all of them exist. So if you feel weird about promoting what you do and you stop promoting what you do, you are not letting people know that it exists. Another way to reframe this, which I really like to do, is that if you are confident in what you sell or the service you offer, and you think that it is brilliant, that it is well made, that it's well thought through, that it's well designed, that it's well priced, that it's highly effective, why you sell that product, its unique selling points, the things that make it special, different, unique, fun, whatever, who are you to keep that from your target audience? Because if we believe in our products enough, we are telling people what we do and how that can improve their life, their business, their hobby, their lifestyle, all of those things. We're not making them buy, but we're giving them an option. We are showing them what is available. Who are you not to show that person the thing, whether it's product or service, that could help them in their life, that could improve what they do, that could enhance their enjoyment, that could make them feel good, better, whatever. Obviously, it's a difficult one because I don't know what you're selling. But if you can almost think of it as that by not promoting what you do, by not telling people, you're taking something away from people. I think it's much easier to think about it that way than that you're pushing something onto people. You're being pushy, you're being salesy, you're promoting stuff that feels awkward. If we can reframe that into actually by not telling people what you do and why it's great, you're taking something away from them. Of course, you're taking away options, but you're doing things that can actually hinder their enjoyment, their growth, their development, their whatever. Then that can be, I think, quite a useful way of looking at it. The whole self-fulfilling prophecy as well is something that we need to address because it's a vicious circle. You know, we have low sales, we don't think we're good enough, we don't promote. So we have low sales, so we don't think we're good enough, so we don't promote. And this can carry on and on and on until you don't have a business, until people don't buy from you because you stop promoting, you've stopped sharing. And we're so lucky nowadays that we have so many different routes to market. We have so many different ways of getting in touch with our target audience and saying we do this. We've got social media, we've got newsletters, we've got digital marketing, collaborations, in print, the list goes on and on and on. We have so many options available to us, and we are able to test and try so many of these things for free that actually the risk that was previously there, if you maybe did a campaign you had to pay for up front and it couldn't be changed, like we don't even have that now. So we're so lucky to be able to do that. And when people don't utilize these promotional opportunities, then their business doesn't do well. So they don't utilize further opportunities. Or I see these posts on social media that drive me quietly mad, where people are kind of going down the woe is me route about their businesses. And you think, but do you tell people what you do? Do you say to people, this is what I do, this is what I sell? And often they don't. Often they just seem to go straight in for this, woe is me, you should buy from me, I'm going to have to close my business. I think that's way worse than promoting what you do. That's guilt tripping people. I think that's a whole lot worse. But if they'd have maybe done the first step and promoted what they did efficiently and well, thought about their target audience, thought about the messaging, thought about the imagery, the content, the visuals, all of the stuff, they wouldn't be in that position. So, my closing point to you, please do not feel weird about promoting what you do. Be strategic, put out good content. Think about those promotional posts as part of an overall strategy, and make sure you're giving value to your audience because you want to keep them engaged and interested. It can't just be every post is a sales post, but some posts have to be promoting what you do, because if you don't make the sales, you don't have a business. If you can reframe this as what you're taking away from people by not promoting, it can be a whole lot easier to do, and it still achieves the same objectives. We also need to be really aware that we don't take engagement to heart. We don't take a post that didn't do very well as a personal attack against us. If we can almost look at it like a paid employee and take one step away, that can also be really, really useful. I hope that's been useful. I hope it's given some food for thought. And as well, if you're listening and you don't have a business, when you see people post, even if you don't want to buy the product, but you like the product, or you think you want to give them some support, like, comment, share. We can all play our part in this, but it does start with the business owner taking those proactive steps to be promoting what they do and telling people why what they do is great. It's not making them buy something, it's just giving the customer more options and educating them. In many cases, they need to buy the product anyway, or they're thinking about buying the product, and you're telling them why yours is great. Or they may not have known the product existed, but it's going to really help them. So just have a think about it. Please don't feel weird about promoting what you do. It is essential in running a successful business. If you have a couple of minutes, I would love you to rate and review the podcast. It really, really helps. Obviously, you're listening to this wherever you're listening. But if you hop over, give it lots of stars and leave some lovely words. I keep an eye on them, so I do try and share them when I can. I'd be incredibly, incredibly grateful. Thank you so much, and we will catch up soon.